righty, welcome in, welcome in. We are live for the Asia session. Going to be doing a little bit of chart review, just getting all my stuff pulled up. We can see that obviously there's a gap higher. So yeah, we'll go over all of this that we see and then more. Going to go from there. But right now, yeah, just watching this gap, giving the market some time to kind of digest the move, get everything situated. Let's see. I like this, like this. Yeah, I think that's good. Cool. Alrighty, yeah, welcome in everybody. So we had a pretty eventful FOMC, and I'll go ahead and break down all of what we saw there, go into some of the context behind it, what actually matters for the rest of the week, and ultimately what you should be getting ready for. So we can see we're gapping up, right? I don't think that's any surprise to anybody. After such a strong close, we have a gap right here between the two. Oh, let me see. Cool. Alrighty, yeah, welcome in. We're going to go over some things, talk about some levels, really just trying to get everything set up nice and neat. Think the lighting's good, think the mic's good. Let me know if you can hear everything all nice and clear. But we have a gap up. Market gapped up. As you can see, look at this hourly chart. Quite crazy stuff. I think something's wrong with my mouse. Let me see. So we're gonna try to fix my mouse real quick. I think I have an issue with my settings on here. So I just got to open up my app. 1 second. Let's see. Yeah, welcome in everybody. Trying to get this sorted out real quick. Something's up with my mouse. Interesting. Anyways, I guess we're not worried about the mouse today. What was off with this thing? Well, anyways, we'll get back to the charts because, well, it's a live stream and I can't sit here and try to fix my mouse all day. So we have a gap higher. Yeah, these settings are all weird. Oh, well. Just use a keyboard. Gap higher here. So what we're looking at, so you can pull this up on like a 15-second chart as well, kind of see what we're doing with the gap. Hey, see how this has like this A right here? Something's off. Anywho, this is the top one futures, Project X, and we'll just simply monitor how we're going to digest this gap. So a gap higher can mean a couple things. Obviously, something very important to know is that most gaps are going to fill within, the 2 days, give or take. It doesn't always fill on the first day, but sometimes it'll fill on the second day. So that's the caveat there. But what I'm watching is for continued strength at this point because we did gap higher after such a strong displacement. So something like that really does give me the indication that we might be looking for higher prices. So organize, boom. So we're gonna really just focus in on one chart for now. We'll go to the 30-second right here. Nice and close. There we are. So this is a chart we're focused on right here. How did you guys handle FOMC? Did you have any sort of good trades? Was it something chaotic? I will say this, FOMC is a more advanced profile of a day. Not always beginner friendly, but there is big money to be made. Sometimes it's a little unpredictable with banners going. So you see that gap up, right? It's starting to fade a little bit. Okay, nice. We're starting to see that fade. That's exactly what I want to see with the gap up. I want to see a fade because even if you don't want to short it, right, you can always look to get long versus this gap. So this is really the structure we're dealing with right here. We have this level right here. Yeah, my mouse is completely useless. I have a lot of hotkeys on my mouse. One of these Logitech mouses. I actually have two of these right here, and just like nothing's working on it. So we got to go old fashioned, use the keyboard. Option J. So that's how I'm always doing my levels super fast. I have hotkeys on the actual mouse itself. It makes it for a really seamless process. So we go like this, try to switch it up a little bit. Media assets, boom. Okay, so this is what we're looking at. We saw a gap up and we're seeing that it's holding the opening price for the new day so far. This is to be expected. It's not, uncommon for price to want to do that. Yeah, so this gap up, watching it react to this level right here, this could be an area of support. It's not always going to be the first area that holds. However, this is where we start to look for the range to kind of develop. So we gapped up about 40 points. Yeah, literally 40 points. Quite a big gap. Quite a big gap. Another thing you'd want to do with a gap like this is you'd compare it to the regular size contract, which we'll do in a second. And then you also want to lay out the quadrants. Do these, boom. We'll do these in black. So there's our quarter marks. You see VWAP's pretty flat for the session. We're gonna go ahead and adjust the charts again, get everything nice and back to the original. So done talking about the opening gap for now. And we want to get into what are we going to do with that information. When you have a gap higher, you can either look to align with the continuation or you look to fade the gap. And the fill of the gap is probably going to be, all the way down to here, right? Like that's a pretty good trade if you ask me. Man, this mouse is broken. I have no idea what I did, but none of the hotkeys work. It's all messed up. So anyways, looking to trade something using this gap. This is the structure in play. You're going to really want to be patient here. You don't need to front run anything unless you're going for the short, of course. You can look to short to the gap fill. I think that's a pretty decent trade from time to time. But I'm simply just going to be observing. Want to start to get some more levels down. So what we're looking at here, especially on this higher time frame chart I have, just a gap higher. So you have this little end of day base after hours. This is some earnings stuff right here. Let's see, what reported? Was Amazon reported it? Nope. RTH 31st. Okay, so Amazon's coming up right here. You have Apple. Earnings are going to be super important to consider. We are in earnings season. I believe you just had Tesla not too long ago. Yeah, last week. So earnings is super important right now. These things influence the S&P, the NASDAQ. They're all correlated. These are holdings inside of these indexes. So that's, there. There's our gap higher. The gap looks pretty similar on both the small contract and the full size contract for NQ. It's about 40 points, which is considerable. It's quite big. It's much larger than most recent gaps. I will say that. Yeah, this one right here, this was a pretty nice one as well. Yeah, this is actually a pretty big gap right here. Very nice. So yeah, we're just monitoring. We're about to get the 15-minute close in a couple minutes. If you guys are new to the stream, definitely leave a like. It helps YouTube tell others that will also like the stream to come check us out. On stream, we'll be trading our Top 1 Futures account. Again, If you are interested in instant funded accounts, these are honestly great for people who know how to trade. If you're new, stick to an eval, stick to a practice account. But the deal is solid, 55% off, pretty straightforward rules. Check them out, link down in the description. Now, what are we seeing here? We see, if we look at our 1 minute chart, nothing really, but we do have that 30-second fair value gap that we're inverting. So if we are to hold below here, I would expect for the gap fill to come pretty quick, 90 to 50. This would be a good short in my opinion. You have a stop up here, 20-point stop for 30-point target. That could work. We're gonna give it time, let it develop, and we'll kind of go from there. Let's see. Yeah, there we are. So how's everyone doing today? What markets are you trading? Are you interested in anything outside of the index? Let me know. As always, this is just a time for us to hang out, chill, kind of go over what went down throughout the day, because I can walk you through some of the trades I was looking at post FOMC as well. Big lesson from today. This is one for you guys to write down. Honestly, it's a good one. When you see markets not wanting to sweep, when they don't want to reach for those far down levels, don't expect them to. Like, we've seen that this is a pretty resistant market. So this low being put right here instead of taking out these lows right there, you got to kind of prepare for that type of stuff. We're gapping into all-time highs. We've gapped up post FOMC. The long story short, FOMC, what did we do today? What did we do? Yep. Cool. So rates were left unchanged, which is what initially drove the market down. And then this is just end of day, kind of like, nope, not yet. All these shorts just got obliterated. No swinging, nothing in this market. But again, it's a lot of earnings stuff going on. So there's reason for the market to be strong. We never want to fight the trend. It's just, it makes for a very frustrating trade. Even this, if we're looking at this as a short or something, even this, you wouldn't want to necessarily overstay your welcome. It's the structure we got. So it's a view op right here, pretty flat so far. I feel like the volume's pretty low today at this point. We'll go over what we have the rest of the week as well. I'm looking over at Forex Factory for Thursday is PCE. Yeah, PCE index, month over month. Employment cost index, unemployment claims. Yeah, here we are. So it's starting to dig into the gap. I think that's important to know. I have no idea what's going on with this thing. Notice that we started to hold just about the 75% of that gap, the little quarter mark. That's going to be a level for us to kind of watch how we interact with those. Well, by next stream, we'll have this figured out. We'll be streaming in the morning, guys. If you are more of a New York trader, we'll be on live for tomorrow. Now, look at this. You're starting to see these consecutive lower closes on these candles. I'm thinking this is going to want to fill like that. Well, 5-minute opening range break you could consider, but this is kind of the structure we're looking at. We do want to take a glance. Let's see if we can do this. I got to figure out this mouse, but that'll be another time. So looking here at Forex Factory, see if we can pull this up nice and neat. We have these news announcements for tomorrow. Hey man, where do I put my stop? Perfect question. I'll break that down right now. Just real quick glance. Let's see. All right, here real quick. Like this, boom. So yeah, heading into Thursday. Yeah, PCE, unemployment index, unemployment claims. Friday, non-farm payroll. So going back to that question that we got, make it real simple for you. Stop goes above or below an invalidation. So if I am, let's just say I'm bullish, right? And I want to get in long here. Where would I consider this wrong? Would I consider it wrong right below the lows? Probably. That seems fair. If I'm short, maybe above the highs. That's a good one. Or matter of fact, if it starts to form a higher low, like it might in a second, I'd probably wait for some sort of confirmation candle, enter above the break of it, and then have my stop below that confirmation candle. I think that's a really easy way to make it just a rinse and repeat kind of setup for stop placement. So again, to keep it real nice and neat, stop placement will be either below a swing point, or if it's forming like a higher low, I'll put it below that candle that I'm using to define the swing low. But right here, stop could go like right there if you're getting long. Question is though, we're at all-time highs, and given the time of day, are we ready to move? It's a good question, you know? If anything, we can maybe trade to the wick up here. If we can hold VWAP as some sort of higher low. See, does regular MQ have that? Yeah, up to 743. Yeah. So this could be a trade you would take, you know, if you're looking at this like this, hold the 30-second probably right here. Yeah, you probably go like this to the wick high. If you do something like, you know, if I'm thinking that this is going to be a higher low, just for the sake of the example, you know, something like this, and I'm targeting up here, this is pretty much how you'd want to place the stop. You know, that way it's not, I don't need this to be terribly low. I don't need the stop to be all the way down here to know I'm wrong. So if that's like a trade that you like, that's what you would do. Do I use 30-second? Not always. I sometimes do, right? So these ones I have on the lower time frames just so you can see what the candles are doing, like the highs and lows and swings. But you know, 30-second, minute, 5-minute would be cool too. You know, 5-minute as well. I think all of them are fine. Man, my mouse is really broken. So for me, I could technically put this stop like under this candle, but I'm kind of expecting this just to go immediately. I try to lay out any sort of structure that I'm leaning on. So for me, I want to see it stay above this level right here. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So do it like that. Maybe make this like a darker color. Yeah, I want to see it kind of stay above there. If it can stay above there, cool, then I'll stay in the trade, obviously. If not, you know, it'll trade lower. So you go something like this. Again, remember you have VWAP right here as well. That's kind of like your second layer of confluence. But you know, if it's not strong, it's not going to hold here. It'll go lower. We already said the gap fill is a really likely trade. So, you know, if that happens, then that's part of the game. But if you want to do some sort of higher low entry, just some sort of stop below this swing is good. You could technically put this like right here. I think that's probably the best one because this would go below the impulse candle that's forming the trigger. 1 minute does not look too clean at the moment. Yeah, not a fan of the 1 minute chart. So this right here would be, how I'm looking at it is like market structure shift right here. This is your daily open. Go blue right here. Dang. And you see it's not holding. So if this doesn't hold, the idea is you don't want to be in the trade much lower than this, because my thought process is if this trade doesn't work, and obviously it's only $60 or whatever, but if it doesn't work right here, it's gonna want to try to fill this. Yeah, I feel like that's the benefit of live streams, when you actually get to see the stuff in action. Because I could just walk you through something, you know, like this. I've taken, I don't know, a few trades. I've definitely taken a couple trades in my career. So for me, it's something that's normal. But you know, these are the things that you have to consider. If it doesn't hold as that VWAP, if it doesn't hold this inverse gap, it's gonna maybe hold here. And if not, it's gonna wanna maybe go through the lows and sweep for that gap fill. Always good to label your levels so you know what you're talking about, what you're looking at. And it helps you have confidence when you see those same levels in screenshots play out enough times. So go ahead and remove this because we're not seeing it respect it. So I don't want to look at it. You have this lower gap right here, which we can annotate. There's one, boom, there. Typically after an FOMC meeting, you'll have that crazy volatility, but then the following session should have a little more defined trends. It's typically an event that allows markets to move cleaner afterwards, especially if they've been choppy before. So now see how we have the swing point right here? You have this little candle right here. That would be where I'd want to put my stop essentially. This could sweep one more time, but you know, let's just say you bought right here. That's like pretty much what I would look at as a stop loss. But we'll leave ours right here at the impulse just to keep it conservative. No need to tighten the stop too crazy. Might want to add 2 contracts, but we'll see. I think we'll add above here, if anything. If we do want to add to the trade, it will be above these candles right here. If it can't trigger, then cool, we'll have a smaller stop. But that's the premise. We're seeing it hold the daily open so far, right? If not, we want to be stopped out right below the structure for the day because we could anticipate a gap fill. Really only need one chart. I'm gonna make it simple for everyone. I only need one chart right now. This is what we're looking at. Working on holding trades longer because sometimes as soon as I see profit, I get out, trying to improve risk reward. Yeah, I would say that's a good thing to do. We'll focus on trying to get more out of the move, but it doesn't mean that risk rewards everything. You know, I don't need to risk like $10 to make 300. You know, I can risk 1 to make 2. I could risk 1 to make 1.5 even. Like, you know, this would be okay. That's a perfectly fine setup. As long as you're not taking it out when the market moves like 5 points or just very small moves, because yeah, the market, you'll study it and you'll see that actually it did move a lot more, and that your best trades might take like 5 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, but they won't be like 2 minutes or like 30 seconds. So that's the best way to look at it. But you don't have to do it forever. You don't have to improve forever. You could just get a little bit better and your trades will be a lot stronger. So I'm seeing this rejection off VWAP, not loving it. You know, I wouldn't mind taking this trade off right here. We'll consider it. My thoughts are, if we're not going to hold VWAP, if we're not going to hold this as a higher low, then we're probably gearing up for the gap fill. which I wouldn't mind getting involved in. Yeah, I think we're good on the long. We're gonna watch this though. I think we're good on the long right there. We can always re-enter. We can always do this or that. But I think we're okay with that trade. We'll watch it though, because I think something else might come. Yeah, we might get short pretty soon. We'll see. I want to see how we react to the level that we got long off of, pretty much. And if we start to see weakness through that daily open, then we'll consider it, but... It's just the fact that we're below VWAP like that. I don't love to see. Take this 1 minute. That'd be on our second 15-minute candle. Yeah, see that 30-second? I might try to short this. Like right there. Yeah, I wasn't feeling the long too much. I don't know if this is gonna hold. It's kind of makes me think it's not gonna hold just based on how we've interacted with VWAP so far. I don't want to be in just yet, but if we do see momentum through the level we're at, then we'll look to get short. But either way, we have 2 minutes left on this opening 30-minute range. And typically after the first 30, prices settle down a little bit. We might try for a break of this consolidation. Relatively symmetrical consolidation so far. I think it's important to point out, you know, lower highs, higher lows. But let's just see how we trade here. Look at this level. It's daily open right here. If we can see weakness through here, we can tag this and then run for, I don't know, 670. I think 670 would be a conservative target. It's looking like it wants to hold, but not all that great. There's always opportunity to try the long on the momentum, but we'll see. Yeah, okay, now it's starting to step up. So our momentum trigger for the long is above this 705. If it can't get above VWAP, if it can't hold above VWAP, I'm not going to try the long again. I'm feeling like this level might fail right here, this daily open, for at least 50% of the gap. But if we can get above VWAP and get towards the 705, I'll try the long up there. I don't want to try it right here just yet because we're below VWAP. Below VWAP, gapped up, all-time highs, so I'm just a little hesitant. $20 seconds till the opening 30 minutes is finished, and we'll kind of go from there. So main ideas that we're really looking at, we'll kind of break this down. Banners. Yeah, here we are. We're starting to see that momentum. So we try this one above the order block, if anything. I want to see it above there. Okay, cool. We got tagged. So for this type of trade, you'd want to put it below this structure, and then you want to target the other end of the range. So the wick on this contract, 740. Okay, I think we're good for this price. We're going to look to take this order block trade to new highs in the index. For NASDAQ specifically, trade on the micro NQ contract. So I'll get this all nice and neat for you guys. I'm looking for an expansion above this order block. This would be my bullish order block. This would be. That's the trade logic I'm looking at. I didn't like it. I felt a little hesitant on it, but remember how we said we wanted to add size? So we took a partial retreat, partial stop, and now we're trying this with the actual size. We went from 2 contracts to 5, so I think we only lost a couple bucks, maybe 30. Now we're aiming for 300 at the highs. Where do you want to trail your stop is really going to be a good thing to consider here. We did sweep out this structure. All right, this is an intra range high. So we could reject here. You don't want to see it happen, but we could. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my stop kind of hovering in profit. And once we start to see some movement, I'm going to just go ahead and let it go. Notice how it hasn't updated. I'm going to wait until we get a close above like 720 to move my stop, because I can't really let it go right now because they'll probably hit it. It could probably get wicked out. But we get a close above 720, even 715 I'm okay with. Yeah, see that? It's looking a little stronger to me. Really need to see this follow through above this high. Would love to get this nice one and done type of trade and kind of go on our way from there. So starting to see it hold. I'm about to let go of the stop loss. I'm about to let go of it in just a moment. Yeah, I feel like I could let go of it right now. I'm going to wait until the next candle opens and dips. And then once that next 1 minute candle on my right chart opens, yeah, let's see it. Okay, I'm going to let go of it. Hands cramping. I feel like that's the best we can do. It's a volatile move, so if it's going to work, it should continue really quick. And if not, it has a lot of room to kind of fall back to anywhere. So I think we have to be in profit at this point. From this point on, as the move continues, I will be trailing prior bar low. If you enjoyed this kind of analysis breakdown, all that good stuff, leave a like. Leave a like. Again, our goal is to trade back towards the range high for Asia session, the new day opening wick high. That is a point of reference. It's like a landmark on the chart. So you'll notice price is kind of stalling out here, which is okay. It's okay. It could stall out here. There's really not a lot of room if it doesn't want to go above this swing point. What do you think's better? Let's see. Trail until it kicks you out, for example. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Trailing. You want your trail in profit a good amount. But you could partial out. Partially out's fine, especially if you're trying to build confidence with the moves that you're trying to catch. I think partialing is great. I did that for years. For me, with this trade, I could partial. I could take it off right here even. But I think what I'm personally going to do on this one is I'm going to trail it prior bar low. So once we get above the 720, I'm going to actually move my stop to like the 713. And then I'm going to keep following it just real close. Kind of just trailing it. So it'll be like this. And then eventually it'll get stopped out or run, right? So look at the 15-second chart right here, because it's kind of stalling out at this level. You know, it's kind of stalling. I could give this room. I don't want to. I'm just going to leave it for the 30 bucks. If it works, cool. It should. You want to see these order blocks respected really aggressively and just continue with this momentum. So again, above 720, that's our next trail point. Like we're going to move it like this. You see what I mean? Now we're up 50 bucks. A little bit better. Yeah, 718, so like that, like 60 bucks. I think this is okay. This might be a little risky, but we'll just keep trailing a prior bar low. Order block should be valid and it should run through the highs. So what did we do good this stream? Well, we looked at the idea of a short. We talked about where it would work for the long. We tried a long, took it off when it didn't make sense, re-entered on confirmation with more size. And right now we're just managing the trade appropriately. So again, above 720, I'll even mark it out, 720. When we can get above here, I'm going to trail it to about 715. And I'm going to move it just like a couple bucks, $67. So now for sure we'll be green on the day. I think we had like a $30 loss maybe. And then we will aim for that $300 win to finish out the stream. Nice little momentum off the open for the session. Look at this bullish structure right here. This is really nice, guys. You see this structure down, tags this level, higher low, holds here, rally. We got down the momentum break that we talked about. Stop was here, and now we're targeting here. These are the types of structures I like. I really like this stuff. To me, this makes a lot of sense. Cool. Now we're getting above 720. So now we want to trail a little bit, right? I need the close above 720 so I can move it to 715 or 714, 75. Like that. That's pretty much what I could do for now. Okay, so now we should be one expansion away from the highs. We should really be getting close. Just, it will probably take one candle. You know, we're talking 20 to 36, maybe 3 candles. But just kind of a push would be nice. What you can also do is measure out this wick, the quarter marks for the wick. Yeah, you don't want to see it stall out. That's the thing. So we might get trailed right here. Let's see, yeah, we'll probably get trailed right here. 30-second order block. So we can get this to hold. It's also 50% of this wick on the 1 minute. Interesting. 112 bucks in profit, 85 in trail. We'll be up about 50 bucks if this does not work. Just want to see a hold. Just respect to the levels, right? Respect of the bullish structure, and we'll be in a good place. There we go. That's looking nice. I'm going to actually trail this a couple bucks. We're going to pretty much be under this the current bar low in a second, because this is forming a swing point to me. So I can put it like right here. Yeah, see this? Now we're in that expansion we talked about. Now we're in a good spot. Our trail is $100. So we'll be up about 80. So yeah, sellers are on a holiday. Hey, man, tell me about it. There's nothing to the downside that's been working very easily. We were just talking about that a second ago. Yeah, they've been on vacation. No sweeps of any lows. It just rallies higher. So you know what we do? We align with the trend. So they always tell you, first day of kindergarten, they say trend is your friend. So now we're in the trade. We're riding the long. Looking for that last leg of expansion. We're trailing below prior bar low. This is a swing point to me. We need just to see this displacement to the upside, and then we could go enjoy the rest of our day. Matter of fact, we might even take this off earlier. I don't even mind taking off we might take the trade off on the next candle higher. You know, I might do like this. I'm okay with that. Would you be? I think that's fine. This blue line is arbitrary. It's not like a point of structure. This blue line is just a level that I talked about, 720. There's no price action there though. So we're looking at the 15-second here. Try to monitor this bullish displacement as it happens. Yeah, I'd be okay with like 255, maybe like 260 or something. I don't know. What's the number that I need? Oh, 40 bucks. Yeah, okay. We could do 255. Cool. So a break above highs will result in us trailing it once more. It's very grindy, but it's okay. At least we got one expansion candle behind us. That helped. Now we just need this to push the highs so we could trail to 719. Above 724, we'll trail 719, guys. Keeping a real tight leash on this one. Just trying to get the most without giving back any. So again, we're going to move the stop but not let go of it just yet. So we're holding it. As soon as it pushes above the highs. Yes, this is going to be the same platform. So you mentioned this is Project X. A few prop firms use the same one. So this is what we're trading on right here. I'll show you once this trade finishes. But yeah, it's all the same risk settings. So if you're not familiar with Top One, definitely check them out. Instant funding options are some of my favorite accounts if you know how to trade. I have all that in the description, but let's see if we get this final push. You guys think we'll get the push through the highs? I think we might, but I'm not too convinced. So I haven't let go of the stop yet. I'm about to. Yeah, Tradeovate's not my favorite. I really do not like Tradeovate. Ever since I used Project X with TopStep, that was like the first time I used it. It became my favorite platform, and I'm not even just saying that. Like it's my favorite platform to use for a lot of reasons. Super easy for chart trading, and trading view charts with less lag. So Top One futures, definitely, if you are already used to Project X, definitely check them out. So the stop's about to get moved. I'm about to let go of it. Ready? 3, 2, 1. All right, I let go of the stop. Cool. Now it's floating out there, 125 bucks. We just need to push through the highs. So we're trailing below the prior bar. Now it's below the prior swing. Really look at it. We're just looking for that push towards the highs. Really, we could go for the wick, but we're just going to be a little conservative. I've learned my lesson lately. I've been trying for too much, and I need to be okay with less. 247. I think that'll do it. A 250 flat. There we are. So I'm not fixated on too much on the number. I'm just trying to make my open P&L 200 bucks. I think that's conservative. The trade can easily hit the highs, but I don't want to overdo it. So I'm about to trail this in a second. I haven't let go of it just yet. Okay, I'm gonna let go. Cool. That went one tick shy of our exit. You guys see this? So you see what we're dealing with, guys? One tick shy of our planned exit. How absurd is that? They're not even gonna give it to me. I had it there too, and I moved it. That's beautiful. All right, so we're almost done with the trade. It's gonna stop us out in just a second. I'm gonna be ready to trail this again. I haven't let go of it yet. I'm gonna be ready to trail it, and like as soon as I see a flinch higher, I'm gonna trail it. Flinch higher, cool. I trailed it. Just give me the exit, man. Come on. That was so insane. One tick. You see it? The high right here. One tick. All right, let me pull this back one tick right here. Okay, come on. So we'll either be up 140 bucks or 200 bucks. 120 bucks. I mean, come on. Just push it before I take it off. We'll kill the trade probably right now. Come on. That was so rude. That was so rude. Come on. Here, do you need like one tick? I'll give you a couple. I really can't believe that happened. All right, so we'll get ready to trail it again, and right now. So now we'll be up 140 about. Okay, cool. Looks like we're gonna get it. Boom. Come on, give me the freaking exit. I just took it off. I don't know what happened there. It looked like it jumped over it. So anyways, yeah, thanks for hanging out, guys. That's $185 on the day, Top One futures. We are trading a 50K account, all stream for the month, pretty much. Both New York, Asia. We'll do some stuff here and there. So yeah, if you enjoy the content, if you really like the trade breakdown, let me know. Leave a like. We walked you through this entire process down to like almost the perfect exit, I would say. Look at what we're doing now. Look what we're doing now. We're starting to pull back. So this would have been my trail. Sometimes you just know, right? Like sometimes you just have a good idea. And that was my best judgment. I figured around the quarter mark would be good. I figured holding for the wick high might be a little greedy. So yeah, glad to hear that you guys are liking the streams. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see. But for today, this is going to be one of those days where we're done early. We're going to wrap it up, 45 minutes. Thank you guys for hanging out. Top One futures, we're trading on their platform right now, risk settings and all. So one thing that we can do with this is you can actually set your daily loss limit. You can set your daily profit target. So like, let's just say I want to lose $500 or not 5,000. Maybe I want to have a daily loss of like 500, and I can set it to liquidate and block so I can't trade past a $500 loss. You can set max number of trades. And on top of that, you can lock out your risk settings for the day. So there's a few other things you could do in here, copy trading, all that good stuff. You can also lock out for time. So if I want to go custom, I can lock out until 3 a.m. tomorrow. So now guess what? I won't be trading this account till tomorrow. And yeah, that's about it for the day. So glad you guys hung out. Glad you guys learned some things. And until next time, take care. And remember, always decipher the algo.